Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to uh, the Kingly Way live stream. My name is King for those watching for the first time. And real quick, I'm going to give you a quick report here in about Daejeon, South Korea. Because right now, Daejeon, South Korea is at a level 2.5, which means we still could go to bars and places, but we have to shut down like at between 10 p.m. to midnight. So we have to shut down. So we're still able to do everything. But in the city, in the capital of Seoul, um, coffee shops, restaurants are takeout. And no, actually, coffee shops are takeout, but certain restaurants you can stay open till 9 p.m. After that, it's takeout. And then private academies, over 10 students, you have to shut down. It's going to be online classes. And if you have lesser 10, you got to take precautions. So yeah, things are just almost getting a little strict because the cases have been rising, and I've been getting a lot more text messages in the morning now. So we've gotten a few more cases. So I'm going to look at the number for you. We got now 256. So they even tell you what city, what area, where the case has happened. So I'm just like, whoa. And another thing, when you go everywhere, you have to sign your name, put your number down, where to contact you, and etc. So that's what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to catch up with comments before I talk about the topic. Yep, Lordy, I like that thumbnail. Yeah. Yes, you do got a good eye, Bama. And yeah, we would all watch that game. So yeah. And Jeffrey, yep, good morning. And of course, look here, it's the first day of school for your daughter. So yep, so she is starting her first gig today and at the public school. So yeah, so public schools just use their own discretion. It'll be interesting to hear if she did actually teach classes today. So that is something I like to see what's going on. Yep. And good morning, Knit Bomb, hanging out in Cali. And of course, go more hike. What's up, Bama? Yeah. Oh, any word on how the infection is getting out? Because everybody coming in the country is well screened. Yeah. And Bama, it has nothing to do with the foreigners coming in. It has to do with that pastor in the church in Seoul. That's where it all came from. So sometimes a lot of these cases has been more local, but then sometimes they want to blame the tourists or the foreigners coming in, and that's not the case. And Johnny, good morning. Yep, and he says hi to everyone. Okay, now before the topic, because I wanted to talk about why is there such an emergence about Korean baseball, pro baseball. Well, it's crazy because I am going to answer a complete answer on it on the end, but there was a reason why the league started, but it wasn't because of maybe what you really think it is. So, but before I do, the reason I picked the topic of baseball, or is it really baseball, you'll kind of see at the end of this live stream, was I really talking about baseball? But first at hand, over the weekend, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, Black Panther, and of course, Jackie Robinson was celebrated in Major League Baseball 42. It's ironic because Chadwick Boseman passed away on the day that it was Jackie Robinson Day. So from Mr. Wakanda Forever, I want to at least give him a little shout out and give him a little rest in peace. So there he is. Yep, and he was in that movie 42. So yes, I am a big fan of Jackie Robinson. So I love Jackie Robinson Day when I used to go to Dodger games. And Cedric Boseman did a wonderful job in this movie, 42. I mean, besides Black Panther, I think he did really an excellent job in this movie, 42. So that's what I think his best acting job. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Dodger fan or, I'm a Jackie Robinson fan. Just the details and work he put into this was just really awesome to what he did. And he hung out with Miss Rachel Robinson when he was doing 42 to get all the historical aspects correct. So, yep. All right. And now let's see. Jeffrey, she's out of small school. Main school is Tuesday and through Friday. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see. Yep. And Black Panther came on ABC tonight. I watched part of it. Yeah. So a lot of tributes to him. So, and 42 was Jackie Robinson. So he also started a movie. And yes, I did see the one with James Brown. So yeah, Cedric Boseman, man, the work he put, the portrayal of, some of our legendary, celebrities back in the days in the United States. So yeah, I was watching 42 on Saturdays, just rehashing it and seeing all the details. So yeah. All right. So now going back to the topic at hand. Well, okay. Now, of course, baseball is popular in Korea, but where did it start? Well, there was a missionary in 1905 introduced a game in Korea. Then it became popular under Japanese rule from 1910 to 1945 for those that, don't know the history lesson. But yeah, so under Japanese rule, baseball became very popular in that situation. So, yeah. So that's one of the things, that was introduced. So, and of course, Japan already, was playing it before that. So Japan's usually pretty good. So, yep. Oh, yeah. I'm watching a lot of the Filipino videos. Yes, I had a lot of fun over there. I miss it. So, yeah. All right. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the 10 teams. So, you're thinking, okay, is this strictly baseball? And one more thing, the reason I picked baseball is because of what happened over the weekend with Chadwick Boseman and, Jackie Robinson Day. I say, why not? And I'll throw a little twist with South Korea into the mix because baseball is a popular sport, but there's some of the things you will get to learn a little bit. And I'm going to break down, there's currently 10 teams, but I'm going to break down each team. And I'm not going to actually break down what the team is doing. I'm going to break down who is sponsoring each team. And for some of you probably already know those same products that you use. So first thing, I'm going to break this team down for you. Okay. So we have the team, the Doonsan Bears. So and one thing about Korean baseball, it's not like America. It is sponsored by a big conglomerate corporation, Chaebol, in South Korea. This baseball pro league doesn't exist without it. It does not exist at all. So the Doonsan Bears, they're based in Seoul. So the company began as Pak Sang-sik store in 1896. So they've been around even before the Korean War and the world's 7th largest supplier of construction machinery. So, yeah, they do a lot of construction. And plus, some of these parts are for the shipbuilders. So the Doonsan Bears. So that's what they're big on, construction. And yes, they found a need. So they're like, there you go. So, yeah. Good morning. Carl, yeah, how am I doing? I'm doing good here. Thank you for coming out. All right, Johnny, go enjoy your dinner. Yeah, tell us how it was. So, yeah, so that's team number one, the Doonsan Bears. So, yeah, construction machinery. Now, I'm going to show you team number two. You probably all of you know this company, right? Yes, Samsung. Samsung Lions. And it is kind of crazy because Samsung means 3 stars in English. That's what Samsung is. And it's crazy what Samsung was. And this is even before pre-Korean War. So a lot of these companies is what built Korea. So Byung-chul in 1938, this was a trading company. So before you know about having Samsung technology and the phones and all that, what did it become? So it was basically doing food processing, textiles, insurance, securities, and actually it was a lot of retail through the 70s. Yeah, it was all retail. Yeah, so the stuff that your Samsung TVs, your Samsung phones, they didn't even touch that till the 70s. And then slowly, yeah. So there you go. Yes. Never knew that. Yeah, I never really knew that much. The only thing I knew Bama was like Samsung was just doing a lot of stuff like regular retail. That's what I knew Samsung for. It's just straight up retail. Nippon's giving us sam means 3 in Thai. Yeah. So 3. So you never know how there's a connection within Asia in that situation. So Samsung. Yeah, and look at it today. It's one of the top 3 chaebol corporations in Korea now. And a far stretches, they're one of the companies that runs Korea. So these corporations run Korea. You need them. You can't just tell them to go, shove off. Samsung's a big part of it. So, yep. So that is team number 2. And it's funny. The team is located in Daegu, but their headquarters is in Seoul. Like all these companies are all based out of Seoul, of course. Why would you have it anywhere else? So that is team number 2. So let's see. All right, I'm going to pick on my team here. Yeah, Hanwha Eagles. And they're located right here in Daejeon, South Korea. They are terrible. I'm sorry, Hanwha Eagles. But for you Giants fans, they wear the orange and black. They actually, at Oracle Park in San Francisco, if you ever watch a Giants game, Hanwha is plastered behind home plate. You will see the Hanwha company listed there. And the Hanwha Eagles is known as an explosive company, So they do explosives to now they're dabbling into other things to financial services. And of course, Hanwha, since I'm in Daejeon, South Korea, you deal with a lot of engineering, a lot of information technology and science, where the nuclear facility is it. So Hanwha said, hey, we'll put a team in Daejeon. So they do a lot of dealings here right in Daejeon. So, Expo, when I show you the Expo Bridge, everything is geared towards that. So that's one of the things with So yeah. Yep, I have many Samsung appliances in my life. Yeah. So yeah, it's been the last 40 years where now, they have dabbled into the technology. All right, Robert, welcome. Nice to see you here. Welcome to the stream. So next thing, I want to talk about the fourth team. This is pretty crazy. The Lotte Giants. It is based out of Busan. For those people that live in Busan, there's a weird loyalty. Lotte Giants. And we have lots of Lotte department stores. The Paekgojum. Paekgojum in Korean means department stores. So yeah, excuse me. I'm going to have my smoothie here. Take a look. Didn't mean to give you a mukbang smoothie. So, yeah, and here in Daejeon, we have a Lotte department store. So there's so many Lottes around. But the biggest one is in Busan. Yeah. And here's the thing. Shinkoku in Tokyo actually, they're Japanese, actually. Some of the family members are mixed with Japanese. So, but they're big on candy because I used to eat a lot of Lotte gum and Lotte beverages. There's a lot of hotels, fast food. I think Lotteria is Lotte. So Lotte the hamburger. Retail, financial services, industrial chemicals, electronics, IT. So Lotte got their hands into all of them. So if you go to Busan, which as I said, Seoul is like New York, Busan is like Los Angeles. Yeah, you have that kind of feel to it. So, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna. Yep. Hi and morning. Yep. I'm good, Robert. Thank you for asking. Haha. Is college baseball popular there? No, not really. It's just a pro league. Of course, I know Bama, the SEC conference is very popular because you guys kind of win the College World Series every year. LSU, Florida. So your baseball is really good in the SEC conference. And yes, so mukbang and smoothie. So that's one of the things. Yep, and he's in the house. So, yep. So now I have covered 4 teams already. Now, team number 5, K.A.E. Yes, I think that is my internet service here. K.A.E. Wiz. Okay, and for those that don't know where Suwon is, it's in Seoul, but it's more towards the east, towards the Pacific Ocean. So it is the largest communications company. It's been around since 1885. Yeah, it's been 134 years ago. As it was started off as a Korea telegram, Hansung administration. So they were sending, it's like almost like Pony Express, for those are wondering, So 1885, and actually during that time, which is weird, there's countries that attacked Korea in 1885. So I think this was a need to send the news about, the enemy's coming. Japan's coming. China's coming. Or this is what's going on. But most of the times it's too late. They already invaded Korea. But yeah, K.A.E. or K.A.E. Ole is one of the better services that I like here in Korea. So I kind of really like K.A.E. Yeah, I'm very partial to K.A.E. If I do pay for internet, but since I pay rent here, the internet is included because I usually ask them, is there K.A.E.? Because I'm very partial to K.A.E. because K.A.E.'s never let me down. So yeah, it has really never let me down at all. So and I think you can still come in here and ask for data. You as a foreigner, you can just say, hey, I'm gonna I want some data. So some of them might ask you for the ACO card, but some of them, hey, just pay the money and I'll give you 20 gigs for the month based on how much data you want. So yeah. Now, here's the nitty-gritty of this. Okay, so I've covered, let's see, the 5 teams. So here's the second half of the teams. SK Waverns. So they are another telecommunication company for businesses and residents. So SK Community was founded in 1999 as Lycos Korea. So that is one of the things, Lycos used to be really big. I remember Lycos. So that's one of the things where we have, different search engines and everything. So that became a very big topic there where, yeah, because they used to have a thing called SciWorld. SciWorld was the old MySpace. And, of course, we have Facebook. So a lot of things people wanted was SciWorld, and you could buy emojis and little dolls. So Korea started all that stuff even before MySpace. So SciWorld was one of the biggest things there. So yeah, and SK, the baseball team, is located in Seoul, and actually they won the championship 2 years ago. So they share a stadium. So that's one of the things that how a lot of this league stays together. These big corporate, companies keep this together. So, yeah. So sometimes if they don't have the fans in the stands as much, they're okay compared to what's going on in America, where, we're just able to just watch, from the stand or from home. So that's one of the things, because it is sponsored by these corporations, they're not losing too much revenue. They're just losing fan revenue, but the company still runs on its own without baseball. So that's one of the things. But of course, in America, it'll be a bad thing if that corporation goes under. So if any of you remember Enron, the Houston Astros stadium used to be called Enron Field. So question is, whatever happened to Enron? Yeah. So Enron doesn't even exist anymore. Plus, the board of directors did time in federal penitentiary. So, yep, Enron. So that's one of those things there. So here we go. Yep, and let's see. Oh, China Dave, good morning. Welcome to the party. Yeah. Yeah. Wyverns, that's a mythological creature. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like Wyverns when I looked at the logo. Oh, I could probably help you out. So this is the logo, what they have, but I was mostly like creature, but like little waves is what they look like. So yeah, so I forgot to show you the logos of each team. That's what I was forgetting. So yeah. Oh yeah. So good day, China Dave. And Bama says, yeah, I remember Enron from when it happened in there. There was 2 documentaries about it. Yeah. And they even made a little Lifetime movie about it. So I remember watching it, and it was some young guy saying, yep, I'm in Enron. We're all putting they even the employees risked their own money into Enron. Yeah. So it was up I remember when that Enron stock was up to like $52 a share. And then at the end, it was under $1 or 15 cents. Yep. So great to see you. So, oh yeah, let me show you what some of the logos were. That's what I forgot. So this is my current team here in Daejeon. So it's the Hanwha Eagles. So that's the other logo. And so let me catch up with the logos for you. There's Samsung. So that is the Samsung logo. Yep. So, yep. So there is Samsung. And here is Doonsan Bears. So based in Seoul. Yep. And let's see, you looked up the Yep. A single two-legged dragon with a barbed tail. So basically, yeah. So I think that goes back to something ancient with Korea, with the way, yeah, you talk about the dragon. So it's just kind of like the wave of how they do business, which is fast, fast, pali pali, let's get her done. So so that's, I think, remembering how they came up with their name, SK. So, and I think SK is going to be moving one of their facilities to Atlanta. So I think they're going to wait till this pandemic is over and SK will be having a facility over there too. So they'll just, I think it's just more of a support system for maybe local Koreans, because since there's almost 1 million people that lives in Metro Atlanta. So yeah. Yeah, hiking. Hi, Scott. I think in run field was the worst in baseball. Yeah. Yep. So now, yep, thank God. So now it's Minute Maid Park. So yeah. Oh yeah, the way that girl looks on your banner is a mythological creature to me. Yes. So yeah. So yeah, that cheer no, that Bama, that's not a cheerleader in baseball. She's usually a celebrity. So what most of these teams do for the first pitch, they always bring some beautiful K-pop or actress model to throw out the first pitch. So, and some of them like are, or even athletes. So some of them are athletic. So one girl did a flip and threw the pitch to the catcher for the first pitch. So yeah. So you do have the cheerleaders. Oh, look. Hi. Oh, my girlfriend's here. Hi, babe. Welcome to the stream. So, yep. All right. So now I'm going to cover the next one here. So I've covered 6 teams. So I'm going to try to get through. Okay. This team keeps throwing me off. They have changed corporations 3 times in the last 12 years. So let me talk. Yeah, where's their logo? Ki-woon. Yes. So they're the Ki-woon. Yeah. Heroes. So yeah. So and it used to be Nexon, which was a tire company, but now they are engaging capital and financial services. So it's still new. So this corporation bought it out in 18. Well, it started in 18, but they just recently bought out the team. So that was interesting. So yeah. Yep, she's like another clickbait. Yeah, we do. Yeah, she goes, clickbait. Oh, we bring politicians in their 80s for the first pitch. Yes, we've all brought our presidents to the first pitch. So, yeah. So, we usually do. Actually, we brought some presidents here in Korea too. So, yeah. So, ha. So, that's another one. So, we have another presidents. Yeah. Oh yeah, hi Tommy, welcome. Yep, Dodgers did win today, best record in the Major Leagues Baseball. Yep, and Kiwoon Heroes, I like that. Yeah, well, I like the name. The tire company, Nexon, was pretty good, but yeah, that's a pretty cool name. Just hope they can keep it going. I think it's a new corporation, so they just came into it. Oh, and Angels lost today. Yep. So what else is new? Well, what are they going to do with Mike Trout? That'd be the interesting part of this one. Okay. Now, here's another team. First, I'm going to show you who this team is. There's another team called the NC Dinos, like the little dinosaurs, and they're in Changwon. This is a little north of Busan, where Busan is southeast. Well, Changwon is a little bit north of it. and NC Dinos. And for a while, I didn't even know what NC Dinos, what they were involved in. But if you're a gamer, they're a gaming company. Since gaming is so big here in South Korea, it's a South Korean video game developing company. So, yep, the Lineage, City of Heroes, Wildstar, Guild Wars, Blade and Soul, Excel, Master, X Master. Since, gaming is so big, it's had a lot of traction here in South Korea, since right now is South Korea's ranked #1 in gaming. So if you were to place a bet in Vegas or online and there's a gaming competition and they have South Korea, you always have to put up a lot of money to bet on South Korea. And then the next country that's good is catching up is China. So usually South Korea and China. And of course, eventually, maybe I think, a country that could maybe make that stride is, people might not believe me, is even the Philippines, because, they're getting into big on the gaming, and in Cebu and some of those places, I'm starting to see some nice little PC bongs or PC rooms. Bong is room in Korean, but yeah, I'm starting to see a little bit. So yeah, so gaming is the thing. So esports, and sometimes esports is in the Asian games is going to be part of that. So you're going to have countries coming in as gamers, sending their all-star gamers to go against each other. So that will be the big thing. And let me show you the logo of the NC Dinos. There you go, NC Dinos, Changwon. Yep. So they are located near the south of Busan. The team was established in 2011. Yep. So NC Dinos, kind of like the dinosaur. But yeah. And another thing is NC Dinos, there was a Major League Baseball player named Eric Thames, who is now currently a Milwaukee Brewer. He played here for 3 years and hit a towering 40 home runs a year, MVP here in Korea. So, yeah. So, there you go. Okay. Hi, Eileen for Saskatchewan, Canada. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah. Yeah. And Luxor here in Vegas has their own EO showroom. Yeah. So it's a big thing there. So, yep, they're sports. Yeah, I was thinking like I don't even know what EO is, but yeah. But Eric Thames. I got a dumb question. How do people make money on video games by betting on the outcome? Well, they don't make money off betting, but there's so much corporate sponsorship. And Bama, here's a funny one. There's an app called Africa TV. So Africa TV, AFREECK. So they sometimes, even some of the gamers, go on there and play and interact with the fans and give a tutorial on how to defeat the game. And people give them stars, and each star you can cash out for money. So some of these gamers make almost $1 million a year in Korea doing that. So this will be an example. Oh, 이거 재밌어. 너 죽었어, 죽어. Or, he'll speak in Korean. So, yeah. Yep. What's EO? I just know the E part of it, but I don't know the O. Or hello to Canada. So I have Eric Thames in my fantasy baseball team. Okay. I used to play fantasy baseball. And another thing, most games have in-game purchase. Yeah. For example, Fortnite, So Fortnite, what people pay for is to get the costume fit, the cosmetics of it. So that is Fortnite. So yeah, I did not even know that NC was a gaming company in Korea. I was always trying to figure out what it was. So since I had to do this stream, I said, hey, I'll do some research on it. Okay. So the next one. Okay. Some of you drive these cars. Kia. Yes. And it is based in Guangzhou. Guangzhou is on the south side of Korea, southwest of Korea. So, yeah, it's been around since World War II. And it's part of the Hyundai Motor Company. So they have over 2.8 million vehicles sales in 2019. So, yep. And Kia Motors is a minority owned by Hyundai. So if you think of Hyundai, that's where Kia comes from. And actually, the Hyundais in the 90s were kind of terrible, but the Kias in the early 2000s and past became much better cars. So you can see they give you 10-year warranties in America. That's what I liked about it. So let me show you what the Kia logo looks like. Did I mess that up? Oh, here's the logo. The Kia Tigers. Yes, here they are. Take a look. So, yes, Kia. So I love to have a Kia. Huh. Okay. So, yep, let's see. Waiting for Hyundai. Yeah. Daewoo still doing business? Yeah, Daewoo is still doing some business, but I remember Daewoo taxis in 1986. Everything was a Daewoo back then. So we didn't have too much emergence of other cars. So yeah, I wish I had the pictures from 1986, but of course I was a kid, so I didn't have the foresight. But all those cars back in the 80s, all I saw was Daewoo. Only one time I saw a Lincoln Continental out of all the Daewoo cars, even the trucks were Daewoo. So yeah, but yeah, so Kia is owned by Hyundai. Oh, another thing, I was just getting on, looking at the buses, and Tom was with me, and we were looking at the buses. In the back, it says Hyundai on these Korean buses, so they use Hyundai buses. So that's one of the things that I've noticed. Like, oh, I never noticed that till Tom pointed it out. Like, oh, so in the back it says, Hyundai. So those are the buses that are being used. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's see. So Kia. Now, this last team I'm going to cover is this one here. You know it. How many of you know about LG, the LG twins? So LG, it's been around since, post World War II. And remember, LG is not life is good. It's Lucky Gold Star Electronics. That's a company sponsors these chemicals and telecommunication products. So life is good. So, and Gold Star used to be its own entity because they had those terrible TVs that broke down after 6 months. I remember that living in LA, Gold Star television. So, it was just torturous to not have a TV in the 80s, You had to, thank God I had Vince Scully to listen to on the radio, or Chick Hearn for the Lakers and Dodger games. But yeah, that's what pissed me off about Gold Star. It took away from me watching ESPN because, we didn't have all this technology to watch all these fun things. You had to share one TV. Of course, the worst part is I was hoping my games get done by 8 o'clock at night on the West Coast because my dad always had to watch KBS, Korean Broadcasting Station. I'm like, really? Except the only exception is when I watched the Dodgers and Channel Park was pitching. That was the exception because a Korean pitcher, So, yep. So here is the LG Twins logo. They are based out of Seoul. So yeah. So there you go. That is the logo. So yeah. Okay, let's catch up with some more comments here. Yep. And I had a Daewoo 20 years ago in America. Wow. Yeah. So here we go. And Hyundai makes most of the semi truck trailers here in the US now. Yeah. So, yeah. So a lot of, how Korea, has become an economic power is they do a lot of exporting their products. They make their stuff. They have a lot of these corporations on top of sponsoring a baseball team all over the world. So here's the thing, and yes, you didn't know that. If Korean baseball dies, it's not the end of the world in the sense of Korea, the way Korea's structured, you know. So yep. Oh yeah, my favorite KBO baseball team is the Hanwha Eagles. They're in last place. They're terrible. So, but yeah. So to further say, like in Korea, the league could fold, and they could start up the league again. So they could definitely start up the league. But most of the times, yeah, they're all sponsored by corporate, no matter what. Compared to us in America, the team itself, the Lakers, the Clippers, they're their own corporation as a franchise. And if they don't have fans in the seats, that's a lot of lost revenue. It's going to hurt. And that's what this pandemic is showing right now. So, yeah. And you worked at Roadstar when I was a kid, car stereos. Oh, my goodness. Back in the days. Roadstar. Yeah. So that's the thing with why, one of the reasons why baseball started. But the reason this KBO started. So I'm going to get to this point here. So here's a question. So Korean Baseball Organization. So this is called the KBO. It began in 1982. So why? And this is basically my opinion, but this is what I heard. And it's not even in the internet. But, I've talked to a lot of people that, was around here in the 80s where things were just crazy. The turmoil going on here. I mean, like we have our own turmoil, and I'm speaking from the United States standpoint with all the crap going on right now in America. Well, Korea was going through all this stuff over the years from the 60s on to the 90s. So that's one of the things. So I'm going to catch up. I worked at McDonald's back in the days. Yeah. And KFC. Didn't we all? Yeah. So there we go. All right. So this could become a little conspiracy theory, but I'm going to say it. But first, I'm going to put out a picture. I'm going to direct out a picture here. Okay. So I'm going to remove the comment tab here. Yeah, this is the president of South Korea, not the current one. This is President Chung Do-won. Yes. So during his presidency, a lot of crazy stuff happened. After going through the dictator President Park Chung-hee from 1963 to 1978. So take a look at this picture here. Okay. So, and you can see how jam-packed the stadium is. He threw out the first pitch. The first pitch, first game ever. President Chung Do-won. So there was a reason why this baseball league started. So if you take a look at that picture. So there's a reason for why the KBO started. So yeah. So there you go. Yeah. And that's what the gentleman said. That's in Korean, the president's name. So yeah. And I worked for Panda Express. So I still remember the fume of the orange chicken. Yeah, I never ate that afterwards. Yeah, he was president from 1981 to 1987. So yeah. So here is the thing. So there's why the KBO started. Okay, because this is what happened back in history here in Guangzhou. Yeah, the Guangzhou Uprising 1980. This takes place May 18th to May 27th. So it was a popular uprising in the city of Guangzhou. Estimates around 2,000 people died. So, and during this period, the Guangzhou citizens took up arms by robbing local armories, police stations after the demonstration of local Chongnam students who were demonstrating against the martial law government were fired upon, killed, raped, and beaten by government troops. Yeah. So the event is sometimes called 518. So over there in Guangzhou, there is a memorial for the dead. So a lot of people died during that time. So a lot of bullets flew into the protest. So yeah. So yep. And I heard of that. So that's one of the things. Oh, and Jan, welcome. Oh, and Jan, happy anniversary for you and Captain. So 2-year anniversary. So congrats. So yeah. So that incident, nobody knew about that incident. The only way we could learn about that incident is this here. Okay. And here is a picture I'm going to first show you. So if you guys are interested in knowing, if you're like a history buff, this movie is good to watch. Taxi Driver. So that is Taxi Driver. Yeah. So that movie right there, and that's the same actor from Parasite. You know, you could check that out and you kind of see what happened. So, yeah. So let me get some comments out of the way. Yep, you're welcome, Jan. Yep. Oh, you saw that movie today. Awesome, Bama. And yep, they're giving their regards to each other. So, Taxi Driver. Now, in that movie, there was a German journalist. A German journalist. And that movie features that German journalist. So, what is his name? So, this is his name. Jürgen Hinspeter or Hinspeter. He was a reporter for the ARD, and I took this off of Wikipedia, and the only journalist to film the massacre during the Guangzhou Uprising in South Korea in 1980. His footage was delivered to Germany and broadcasted worldwide. So this gentleman, none of us would have ever heard about the Guangzhou Uprising if it wasn't for this German journalist. The government would have kept this a secret. So that's one of the things in that movie it displays about the uprising. So yeah, it is a real good movie. Yeah, no way I coincidentally watched that today. Small World. Yeah, so it is a great movie. Oh, I just started that movie, but I didn't finish. I'll go watch it again. Yeah, and it is in Amazon. So Amazon or Hulu, you could watch it. And Kinga, yep, great movie. Explains what happened in Guangzhou really well. So those are the things. So, and here is, let me close the comment out here and you can see a clear picture. So there's the real, so the bottom right is the movie Taxi Driver, but this is the real life Peter, so Jurgen. So there's a real life Jurgen. So on the left, that's him when he was young filming it. And this is when he came back and got the award. So he's got that award. Yeah. And, his wish was to be buried in Guangzhou, but his family did not honor that wish at all. He died in 2016. So he wanted to be buried, right there in Korea, but family didn't honor his wishes there. So that was the thing. But yeah, it was really crazy. Yeah. But yep. Oh, but not on Prime. Okay. I know it's on Hulu. So yeah. Yeah, the movie was riveting portrayals of what happened to the protesters. In the subtitles, they spelled it, yeah, Guangzhou, yeah. So yeah, and Bama, I've been to the memorial. So when if cases come down again, I do want to go back there because when you go to that memorial, man, it strikes a nerve. When you go in there and look at the grave, because there is a grave and everything, the May 18th movement, you just sit there and cringe and you sit there and, yeah, you get a gut check. So it was kind of hard for me to sit to the grave and to look at all the people that died in that thing. So, yeah. But yeah. Yep, for free. Yep, and here's a synopsis. Yeah, it starts up real subtle. Yeah, and the taxi driver is barely making ends meet. And then the German reporter gets a tip of something on the Guangzhou and he makes his way there by taxi. Yeah. Because yeah, and not to completely spoil the spoiler alert, he could not, they pretty much closed off Guangzhou at the time. So that place was totally closed up. And did he ever find out? No, he died not knowing. And I think, and I thought about that, the taxi driver, why did he kind of give I think purposely he did give maybe not the real number. I think he did not want to be found because he kind of knew how Korea was as a society. I mean, that went through my head, but it's like, why do you not want to keep in touch? So yeah, and that taxi driver, we don't even really know who he is till this day. He's kind of kept in hiding. So I figured he would want to come out and, say something, but, I think it's safe now. But I guess, yeah, we don't even know if that guy's alive. Yeah, and that movie is timely to say at least there's a big difference between what's on TV and what's on real. Yeah. And of course, when I saw the news footage, wow, just see a lot of bullets flying, a lot of, smoke, So I've seen some of the footage, and, going to Guangzhou, I was like, wow, so this is where it all happened. So, yeah. But, yeah, if any of you come to Korea, that's one memorial that is worth visiting. Of course, in light of fun, when I went there, they have a little place at the bottom for kids, little play area for that memorial. So I was like, oh, this was interesting in light of it. But no, it's really gut-wrenching to go to that grave and look at it. Yeah, it just makes you want to break down. I feel sorry for the families because I bet the families that lost somebody there probably breaks down and cries every time they go to that grave. So that is one of the most gut-wrenching things that I went to. And of course, my dad and his friends have a a grave too, and a museum that they put together in Busan called the Democracy Center in Busan. So it's more on the top of the hill. So yeah. So, you know, when my dad dies, his name will go on that thing. So he and his buddies there put it all together. So yeah, so some of the friends, I take them up there, say, hey, take a look, because I never get sick of that place, but it's part of my family, part of my history, part of me. So that's one of the things. Yeah. Does every city have a Korean War memorial? Um, no, it's most of the main Korean War memorial is in Itaewon in Seoul. That's the main one. So that's the, but they have like little other various ones, maybe graves, you know. But yeah, it's mostly in Seoul. Yeah, the protest lasts from May 18th to May 27th. So and there are other protests going on, you know. So as you can see, so May 18th to May 27th, 1980. So yeah, so estimated 2,000, but probably more than that died in that incident. So yeah, and that's where he goes. So that's how long it lasted. And yeah, yeah, but mostly in Seoul they have that, but they have like other memorials. So yeah. And yeah, and it's also on YouTube, also free. I'll watch it after this live. Yeah. So if you have time on your hands, yeah, Taxi Driver is a pretty good movie to watch. Another movie is The Attorney with the same actor. So The Attorney is really good, and that is based on President Nomurun, the president from 2003 to 2008. So going back to how the baseball started, you know, with President Chung Do-won, it was started as, and this is a little conspiracy theory, it was started to cover things up, started to distract, you know, just like we deal with in the United States. So that's what the league was started for. It wasn't just started like, oh, we need to merge ourselves, you know, for baseball and all that. That's where it all started. It started to just distract from everything that was going on. Because, you know, a lot of these protests and this craziness that we're dealing with in America, it was happening in Korea during those times. It was a constant protest. And they still do protests out there, you know, in Seoul, because we even got a president impeached in 2017. So, yeah. Okay, and did anything change because of the protests or the German news report? Oh, yes. Yeah, because he showed that footage, and plus Korean society's about not losing face. That was embarrassing to the Korean government. And because of those incidents in Gwangju, it's changed. Like you know, the years I put the President Chung Do-won, 1981 and 1987. Oh, and I forgot to mention, or I didn't read it to you. Okay, because of that incident, but of course, that wasn't the charge of the Guangzhou Uprising. The Korean government sentenced the president to life in 1996. But it wasn't the charge about the uprising. It was the murders of 2,000 citizens. It was over some embezzlement charge. He got life in prison, but guess what? He was pardoned a year later. And when I heard that, I was so annoyed. You know, like, wow. And he's still alive, free, and about doing whatever he wants now. So, yeah. It's crazy. Yep, cool. Yeah, might be on Hulu. So Korean government was like that before. Never knew. It was a different time. Yeah, it was a very different time. A lot of demonstrations. I think uh, because you know that stuff going on, a lot of Koreans wanted to flee. Were trying to flee out of America. So some of the Ajishi that I know in America that live in America, they were there. They witnessed all this stuff. They went through this stuff. That's why they ran away to the land of the free, the home of the brave. You know, so when I listen a little bit more now and ever, yeah, it was going through a hard time. It was going through democracy because remember, playing like in the last stream on Friday, where Korea is still playing catch up. They went through their stuff, but now they're playing catch up. So yeah. And that's why my family moved to America in the 70s because the country was kind of poor economically. Yeah, it was pretty much still a third world country, And as I said, the Philippines it had a better GDP than Korea at one point. Philippines was better off than it would have been better to be in the Philippines than in Korea at the time, with the way Korea was. So yeah. So a lot of Korean families like yourself, Tommy, even my parents, yeah, because of all this is why I'm sitting here with a U.S. passport. I'm an American, Yeah, and life for imprisonment. Yeah, it sounds odd the way it sounds because when I saw the documentary, I was under the assumption that he was sentenced to life for those murders. But as I looked at Wikipedia, it was like, what? Embezzlement? And almost every South Korean president has this issue with some embezzlement or family member because that's what happened with the last president, President Park Geun-hye. She got impeached because, her family members was, taking funds, embezzling funds, while people are struggling, So she's, I think, finishing up. She's in there doing jail time right now. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's like the joke sometimes. There's always some corruption thing. Or most of the times when the corruption thing comes, it's after they're out of office. So everything all of a sudden comes out like, yeah, he did this, he did that. So yeah. So it's crazy. Yep, and Jan says, I just saw a blogger went to North Korea comparing the difference of South and North from wearing clothes and life. I feel North Korea is still living in the 70s. Yeah, could be. So, and I saw one guy who, yeah, did a blog. But of course, when you go to North Korea, they're going to only show you what they want to show you. They're not going to let you see the other thing there. Yeah, you mentioned Japan. Did Japan colonize Korea or they invaded? Yeah, they were from 1910 to 1945. Korea was under Japanese rule. And after, World War II, thanks to America, yeah, Japan had to get out of there. So, yep. So they were running the show there. Yep, and I watched Crash Landing on You. North Korea doesn't look that bad. Yeah. And sometimes one of the reasons I kind of want to go is I want to see the other side, I do want to experience North Korea, but I don't know if I'll have that chance with stuff going on. So I'd like to see, yep, and they colonized Korea. So my mom still hates the Japanese, yeah. And I'll tell you that when I was younger, I used to be like anti-Japan. I hate Japan, but as more as I grew up, as more as I, gone to mature a little bit and visit Japan, I think in comparison, being in Japan, I like Japan more than Korea. Like I don't have to worry about somebody running me over with their car here in Korea, but in Japan, they're like very polite in ways. But there's good and bad everywhere. Oh, yep, and the bodyguard escaped from North Korea. Isn't that dangerous for South Korea? What if he's a spy? Well, in today's time, yes and no, Jan. But I think some people do want to get out of North Korea. But I think something's going to change sooner or later, because North Korea, a lot of people are starving. So something needs to be done. Yeah, that's why Japan is not very popular in Korea. Yeah. Well, and then before the COVID last year, there was a gripe about the trade thing about certain energy stuff or some, technology that Japan and Korea weren't going to share. So they were all pissed off at each other. So last year when I went to self-serve beer place where I usually drink my non-alcoholic beer, they were not selling anything Japanese. And there were signs around, don't buy Japanese. Or when I went to Uniqlo, people were like looking at me funny in Korea because Uniqlo is a Japanese clothing store. And I was like, since there was no one in there, they had so many sales. So I took advantage of the sales. So yeah. Yep. And I never thought of it that way. Yeah. So I tried my best to give both sides of the pendulum here. Yeah. Yep, K-drama is a big influence on culture, and I hear fellow people talk about it and Thai people. Yeah, it's a huge influence. Just it's not reality. So that's what I said in my video to Filipinos that want to, date or marry Korean guys. It's not reality, that K-drama. Yep. Yep. I've been to Osaka and Kyoto. What city did you go to in Japan? I went to Osaka, Tommy, and then I went to the Takashima Island because my friend needed to make the visa run because his 90-day was running out. So you go from the Busan ferry and you go to that island of Takashima. But I didn't feel like I was in Japan because there's so many Koreans there because Koreans like to, make a little tour there. But yeah, I didn't feel like I was in Japan, but I enjoyed being there. And of course we were making the joke like, okay, if someone is smiling, that person is Japanese. If they're like straight faced, they're Korean, especially. It was the joke. Okay, so Bama says, I went to Tokyo for 1 week several years ago. I liked it. It was odd. Several old women and grandmother age bowed to me very deeply. Yeah, there's that sign of respect there. Yeah. Yep, I guess. Yep, it was due to World War II. So after World War II, yep, Korea became their independent. It was still Korea at that time in 1945 because North and South became separated once, the 38 parallel was drawn. Yep, good series, slow and cheesy. Yeah, it's very clean. Yep, in Japan. That part is impressive. Yeah, it's very clean. Like when I walk around, Korea is somewhat clean, except what you have in Korea sometimes is everyone throws their trash back and it's piled up and stacked up. That's the only bad part where I can't even walk on the sidewalk. Even here, I get kind of annoyed. I'm like, I hate walking on the road, but yeah. But yep, as expensive as in Tokyo, it should be clean. Wow, expensive. Yeah. Yeah, it is yeah. Japan, in my opinion, is more expensive than Korea. So yeah, and I feel it too. That's the only thing about Japan. I'm going into convenience store Lawson's, and I'm like, why is this? This feels like so expensive. Yep, and some celebrities here, they were talking about it. They've been addicted with the K-drama. So yeah. Excuse me. So I saw the Train to Busan today. Wow, heart-wrenching to say the least. Yeah. Oh, there's another movie that's a prequel to sequel to Train to Busan. It's called Peninsula. I have not seen it yet. So that's probably the next one. I don't think it's good as Train to Busan, but Peninsula is that next movie. So yeah. There are several young baseball players in the movie where they from a famous team. No, but it's funny. It looks like the Doonsan Bears jersey, but yeah, in that movie, but they weren't. But those kids were, like high school kids. So, but they had like Doonsan collars. So that's one of the things. Yep, I never saw Train Don't Hate. Yeah, yeah, but yeah. Hey, and Tommy, it took me a while to go watch Busan Yok, which is Train to Busan. So it took me a while to see it too. So yeah, but it's pretty good. But I got to check out Peninsula to see how that one goes. Yep, love that movie. So yep, watch it during the not close to bedtime. Yeah, I found it interesting when I saw Japan and U.S. doing maneuvers together in the South China Sea when they're flying the rising sun. Yeah. Funny thing is that rising sun flag, Korea does not want to see that flag. They get pissed off about that. Just like us, when we see the Confederate flag in the South, for African Americans, they don't want to see the Confederate flag. So, yeah, it's just the comparison there. Yep, and love the horror movies. Yeah, and Korea's got a lot of good horror movies. So that's one of the things. So that goes to the fact of, as much as, I did this thing about baseball today, but it really wasn't completely about just baseball. It was started because of the craziness as that baseball, just became more and more popular. Okay, is Peninsula? I don't know if it's on Netflix. I haven't turned on my Netflix. Was that the flag that was flown over Korea? Well, if it's the rising sun flag, Koreans don't want to see that. But I think even in the U.S. for the Asian American community, they don't really want to see it if they have dealt with that issue, back in the days. Yep, and Koreans in Kentucky love bourbon. Yeah. So, yeah, and Carrie, I had a buddy here who was a guest. Yeah, he's from Kentucky, so he does talk a lot about Kentucky. King, I prefer Korean and Japanese horror movies or American because they are much better. Yeah. And it's funny, like us, I can't remember the comparisons, but some of the horror movies that you see in America are off of Japanese and Korean horror. So those are some of the movies that comes off, So yeah. So yep. Korean Japanese horrors are really scary. Yes, they are. So, but some of the movies, I think like The Grudge and The Ring, yeah, that we see in America, it was started in Japan and Korea. Yep, true. Yep. Oh, you're the teacher you interviewed from Kentucky. Yeah, Ben. Yeah, I'm trying to get Ben back here, but his university schedule has kept him busy again. So I do plan on bringing him again. So as soon as he gets free, I'll probably do more live streams with him here. Yep, my baby's scared. And our Korean baseball team's playing now. Yes, they are playing baseball. Bama, they're looking to do 144 game season. And they had 10% fans in the stands, but since Korea is now on level 3, where you can't meet more than 10 people, they are now playing in empty stadiums again. So, yeah. What do you think of the MLB piping and the fake crowd noise? It's weird. It's so weird when I'm watching a Dodger game here. It's just annoyingly weird, especially when they have walk-off home runs. I don't know. I just bear with it. Yeah. And I love Korean Japanese movies, and the way they do theirs, they always do the twist on the end. Yeah, it's a big twist on a lot of this. Like, oh. Yeah. And it's weird to have photo of fans stadium instead of being empty. Yep. Well, it's a way to generate revenue. That's what it is. The cardboard cutouts for baseball. Yeah. Only thing is, I was not gonna pay $200 for my cutout to be at Dodger Stadium. Heck no. But in Seattle, it's only $30 because I was wondering why is Seattle, Safeco Field is jam packed with cardboard cutouts because they only charge $30. Yep, yes, it was flown over Korea under the Japanese occupation. Yeah, the land of the rising sun flag. Okay, yeah, so I was getting to that reference. Yeah, so that's why a lot of Koreans have sentiments about that. Yep, and they're a lot better than American movies. Yeah, and what I've even noticed is some of the Korean movies that I've seen in the past, and then now I see it in the American theaters. I'm just like for example, Old Boy, Korean movie. Then Spike Lee tried to do it, and nothing against Spike Lee. I like Spike Lee. I'm a Spike Lee fan. But then I saw the Old Boy on the other one. It was just not the same. Yeah, it was just not the same. So, but the Korean Old Boy was really good. But when I watched the other one, yeah, I was not too big on it. Yep, so true. I think that's a trademark for their movies. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's another thing, the Korean cinema thing is coming out with a lot of good things here. Yeah, many British colonies hate the Union Jack for the same reason. Yeah. So there's all those reasons. Every time I watch American movie, I already know what's going to happen. Yeah. Yep, definitely. So I know what's going to happen. So obviously, yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. When I watch the Korean flicks, dramas, or horrors, there's always like a million twists. So yeah. And oh yeah, another good movie was before, there's a movie called The Classic. So yeah, so The Classic is pretty good. And you would have, and the thing is with Korean movies, you have to pay attention to it through all of it. You have to really watch it through, no matter what, because you don't want to miss anything. Yep, Hollow Scrolls, the remake of good Asian movies, a Thai horror Shutter comes to mind. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just too predictable. So that's one of the things I like. Hey, Zane, welcome. Yep, doing well. Hope all is well. Yeah. Yeah, there will be a happy ending. The guy will get the girl in the end, and the hero will grow a heart of gold in the end. Classic is probably my favorite Korean movie. Yeah, The Classic is a real good one. It is a love story, but it goes back from like the times in the 60s to like the present time in the 2000s. So The Classic is a really awesome movie. So yeah, and babe, if you're there, I want to watch that with you. You will love The Classic. So yeah. The Classic. That's the name of the movie, Bama. Yeah, that's a good movie to take your significant other to watch together. So if you have your girlfriend, watch that movie. So I would love to. Yeah, and I've watched it quite a few times. So sometimes I'll watch it again because sometimes I like to look at more of the details. The Classic, I think, came out in the early 2000s. Yeah. So yeah. Yep. Yep, I agree, King. You're really going to be the hook with their story, so you know why the twist of movie is end up like that. Yeah. Yep, Spamma, The Classic. Is this it? Yeah. And there is that beautiful actress that plays it. So I forgot her name. But I was attracted by the soundtrack. There was a group called the Bicycle Tree, but I don't know. But it won't come out in the YouTube because but it's like I to you, you to me, kind of like a rockish type song. So yeah. Yep. And I do some bibimbap. Have to travel to Cincinnati to find it. Yeah. That's a nice mix of foods. Yeah. Yeah, bibimbap you could even make on your own with a bunch of the Korean vegetables and ground beef and then a red bean paste sauce. So you could just make it on your own if you like, and yeah, and put your little, salt and peppers in it. Yep, just Googled it. Okay, yeah. Songje Yejin. So yeah. Yep, I still love Marvel movies and my favorite American series. Yes, babe, let's go watch it. Okay, and King, I ate all you can eat Korean barbecue in Vegas, so we have 50 Korean restaurants. Yeah, I've been to a couple of them when I dropped by Vegas because my friends like, oh, I want something else besides the regular buffet. All right, let's go get something Korean. So, yeah, just not on the strip. She is in Crash Landing also, but now old. Yeah, so yeah, it's a good movie to classic. All right. So I hear you're the man asked what's going to happen at Chavez Ravine this year. Yep, we'll see. Yeah, I actually have season tickets there, but the question is, do I want to keep them? And the Dodgers send me an email says, pay your invoice. I'm like, you serious? I mean, I ain't paying anything for 2021. You have all my money. And you promised me a 10% credit on top of my money that I paid. So, but yeah, we'll see how the Dodgers go. Yeah, I do still do my Dodger post game with my friend. I don't know if he'll be awake tonight. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So, an hour and 20 minutes. All right. If you got any last minute comments, go ahead and fire them out. Or else I'm going to try to go next door and go eat that, that $4 all you can eat barbecue. Yeah. I'm going to drop this ticket into the Ajuma so I can go eat. So, yeah. So, yes, Bama. Chavez Ravine is Dodger Stadium. That's what it's called. So, usually the Dodger fans would know that. But if you're outside of the LA, a lot of people don't know. Yeah. And then, of course, I could talk about Chavez Ravine. That's another topic by itself. Yeah. But I don't even want to go there because it's very sensitive sometimes. Yep. That's not barbecue, but, regular Korean food. I never know what you get. Oh, yeah. The Man from Nowhere was awesome. That actor Wonbin is awesome. I love Wonbin. Yeah. Oh no, I hope it all works out. So we'll see. Yeah. Okay. All right. So before I go, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. I am planning to. Usually, I don't live stream on Tuesdays, but it's a 50-50 thing tomorrow. I might be live streaming tomorrow because the guest told me that she is available. So I do have a guest available. So she said yes. So she'll be possibly on tomorrow. Wednesday, this is going to be an iffy one. Wednesday, I'm looking to have Bud Brown on from Dumageddon. So as long as he does not have a brownout, I'll still have a live stream. So it'll either be with me, but I'm hoping that he does not have a brownout. So hopefully he'll run to maybe a restaurant or a coffee shop if he has to. So that's the schedule right now for Tuesday and Wednesday. So yeah, it might be actually live streaming more. And then Thursday, hopefully I'll have a video out. I haven't had a chance to do a video. So like to get all those things out today. And yeah, I was in the mood to watch movies today, but I never heard about. Yep. No, it's not Luna. Yeah. I'm lucky if I can get Luna back again. She has a busy schedule. But I'll get my guests back and forth. So if I can keep getting them back. So, and I'm contacting a lot of people too. Yeah. Yep. There's a movie on Amazon. Yep. Elanina. Okay. So Elenia. Okay. I'm going to check that one out. Bud Brown burnout bummer before. Yeah. Well, in this last stream, he was able to go, but, he only was able to go an hour and 10 minutes. So hopefully, Wednesday we'll not have that issue. Hopefully I can help with this Korean internet to say, Bud, don't die on me, Bud. Don't die. So, yeah, so that's the agenda. So at least you guys know. So I will schedule, as soon as I confirm everything, I will schedule it. Hey, for my girlfriend, that's the tongue twister for the students. That's the tongue twister. Bud, brown. Yep. Oh, no, I already messed up the tongue twister. I like the diversity in your women's guest. Yeah. So, yep. So I'm just going to try to keep bringing a mixture of some fun guests. So, yeah. So there'll be more to come as long as I can keep it going. It's a serial killer, British guy living, billionaire in Thailand. So, yeah. That's a good one too, Jan. Okay. So, yep. So that would be the agenda. So, and if I live stream, it will still be same time, 10 a.m. Philippines, 11 o'clock Korean time, and 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So, yep, just check for my Facebook notification or my YouTube notification. All right. So, yes, I need to go eat that $4 Ajuma deal over there. So I'm going to go enjoy some lunch. So for everyone, thank you for coming. Yep, and a lot of good. And if you are bored, go and you have movie suggestions tonight. So want all of you stay safe. And again, I'll either see you on another live stream when I'm hanging out or see you on my stream tomorrow. So take care, everyone. Good night. Good day. I'll see you again. Goodbye.